Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Baba Yoba, and we are talking today regarding a question someone popped up. Materialism and its effect on spirituality. But before we start, we would pour veneration to the ancestors. Àṣìbálára tajero, bàrọ̀gún lè dáná, kí bàwá ó ṣe lónìí. Àṣìbá oyún ilé, àṣìbàtẹ́ ìdí. We give credit and kudos to those who have gone ahead of us. And we also give kudos to those who are listening now, who in the future will become the ancestors. Ashe. We are trying so hard to manage the bandwidth that we've got. And if you can hear me clearly on YouTube, please let me know. At some point when we know that the bandwidth of the network can carry the visual also, we will come live. Somebody asked a question. And I'm going to read it the way it was written. It says, Aboruboye, Baba Yoba, where does African spirituality stand when it comes to materialism? Someone told me spirituality and materialism don't mix. I just want to be properly informed. Thanks. So this is the reason why we are doing this video. It is audio. What matters most is that you listen carefully so that we can rub minds together. Whatever it is that we speak about today does not form the foundation of anyone's reality. You can decide to go by it, and you can also decide not to. It won't remove anything from you as a person. You must know that spiritual leaders or religious leaders often use their own temperament, their personality to interpret spirituality sometimes, or religion. And that is the reason why African spirituality is very different. You can choose the kind of life you want to live, as long as it appeals to your conscience and it does not negate your peace of mind. So, standard that I live by should not be your standard. Yes, it is audio only for the person asking. For now. So you can go about your business and still be part of us. When you check the Oduifa, most of the time, you will see they will talk in this way and say, Adifa fún Ọ̀rúnmìlà nígbà tí bàbá ń fojoojúmọ́ fojú ṣègbérí ẹkún tí ó ń sunkún àìríná tó ń sunkún àìrílò. Which means, according to the divination of Ọ̀rúnmìlà, when he was panting after wealth, riches, when he asked vacation of this and that, it is sacrifice they ask him to do. The obedience of Ọ̀rúnmìlà is the sacrifice that he needed to make. So if wealth or material things are not supposed to be used or to be owned by those who practice African spirituality, such verses of Odu, of Ogifa, will not arise at all. However, what this person is asking is materialism. Because there is a huge difference between having material things and becoming materialistic. And the question is, do they mix according to African spirituality? Can you still be materialistic and still practice African spirituality successfully? The answer is no. But can you have material things and still practice African spirituality successfully? The answer to that is yes. Because the clothes you have is a material thing. The house you live in, even if it does not belong to you, as long as you call it a home, it is still a material thing. And I'm going to put it to us today that it is impossible. It is highly impossible for you to practice spirituality effectively when you have not settled the aspect of material things. A person who is 3 square meal, the least thing on his or her mind is spirituality. A person who is out there in the cold, not having a place to keep warm, the last thing on his or her mind is spirituality. But it's easier for you to focus on your spiritual mind and what is inside when you have settled what is outside. However, in some rare occasion, which we are still going back to, you can settle discourse from the unknown to the known. Even the monks needed to have a robe over their head, over their back. That's material thing, right? Even they need to eat sometimes. That is material. But when we become materialistic, when the joy within us is solely determined or dependent by the things we have, then spirituality is also messed up again. So it is very important for us to note and know where we stand per time. Material things are full expression of the wealth of the universe. As a matter of fact, there is no way you are going to know the universe if there are no material manifestation of that same universe. And as the universe is the total and full component or composition of material things, you must be in a position that constantly conquer materialism while you make use of material things for your spiritual endeavors. The material aspect of a tree is what you see. If a tree does not materialize itself, you will never see a tree. You won't see the leaves. You won't see the bark. You won't see the root. You won't see the juice or the fluid in it. A tree is it's what you hold. A tree in itself is not what is shedding those leaves away. A tree cannot be seen. A tree cannot be held. A tree is totally an energy, a spiritual thing. But because of your sake and for the sake of its usefulness, a tree needed to materialize itself so you can have a substance from it. So you cannot move spirituality and materiality away from each other. However, materialism, becoming materialistic, is what is dangerous for your spiritual well-being. Remember that if you have not settled some material things, it is even impossible for you to focus on your spirituality. It's a case of someone who say, I am so spiritual now. I need to consecrate myself. And the person live in perpetual isolation. How would you be useful for people if you do not constantly materialize your spirituality to them, thereby making spirituality and materiality two sides of a coin? The expression of your spirituality is materiality, if there's a word like that. And in turn, materiality enables your spirituality in terms of focus. But when things like greed, when things like covetousness, when things like having more than enough of what you do not need begin to set in place, then the same materiality begin to poison your spirituality. So it is possible for you to have material things and still attain spiritual peak. As a matter of fact, in some level of teaching and understanding, enigma and your spiritual stamina is totally reflected in your material manifestation. Now, see, what we are talking today is different from owning private jets. What we are talking today is different from appearing on the front page of, is it Forbes magazine? It is totally different from competing with the likes of Elon Musk. What's the name of this Amazon man? Jeff Bezos or Dangote. Different. And if you are keen enough to study even those you think have material possession, their life is way more simpler than those who do not. Because at a point, they have discovered that what is in the physical cannot equate to what they must have inside of them. Some of them do not even try to possess anything at all. They live a very simple life. So they go about with t-shirt and all, just simple dress, and they don't drive too much designer car. They don't even believe in hiring a driver to drive for them. But you must know that even though some of them might have told you that they believe in spirituality or the sky god, they still live more spiritual life than you, who think you have all the spirituality in the world. See, the greatest manifestation of your spirituality is in the simplicity and how you take life. Simplicity and how you carry life. So the moment you realize that life is all about simplicity, you'll be able to control the whole universe without lifting a finger. Because there's nothing complex about life. Now, what I'm saying today is not to tell you not to aspire. Aspire to be the best in your field. Aspire to be the best. Aspire to break this story of when they want to do eulogy of your family, they will now add poverty to it. Be the one who breaks that. But don't break it at the expense of your spirituality. Do not break it. Do not break it at the expense of your spirituality. Because the moment you try to go more into one than the other, then you will lose in one and the other. Are you with me? The moment you try to focus on materialism or materiality than spirituality, or spirituality than materiality, then you will lose in both ways. Life is all about balancing. So people who do things that count, they never wait to count them. That is the reason why they are spiritual. People who do things that count, they don't go back to count them and begin to relish on them and begin to say, look at what I have done. That is the highest peak of spirituality. When you know that you are a source and everything you own is resources or are resources, not for only you, but for others, then you have attained the same level as the universe itself. Because the universe owns all this, but never hold on to all of this. So we begin to wonder when mankind will now begin to reflect the perfect temperament, the perfect disposition of the universe, having everything but owning nothing. So the fact that you don't put your name on that card does not mean it does not belong to you. You know what you own. In a world where materialism has gotten to the point of even giving birth for the sake of knowing that you own a human being. Because we need to take a detour in this teaching today into the aspect that majority of us, materialism has gotten into us to the point of becoming cancerous. That the only reason why we want to have children is because we are looking for another thing to put our name on. That is to know the depravity. See, it doesn't have to do with having millions of dollars in your bank account. Even a poor person can be so materialistic and it doesn't know it. So the point of the reason why he's giving birth or she's giving birth is to have another thing in his or her name. If not, if the purpose of giving birth or having children is because of love and expressing or sharing, nothing's cost you to go and adopt those children on the street. If what your aim is not to put your name on something else or acquire another property in form of a human being, it won't cost you anything. Maybe you have one child and you adopt 5. If you are truly a servant of the universe. But this materialistic nature of mankind has gotten so deeply rooted in us and become so cancerous that we even reproduce human beings for the sake of putting our names on them. Not to mention owning cars. So the very prayer point of an average human being on earth today is not to become the fullness of themselves. It is to become as wealthy as Mark Zuckerberg or Dangote, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jack Ma, Waffen, and the rest. The greatest, the highest peak of a man's desire in this dispensation is to be like those. Now you begin to now look at the life of those people you are using as a standard, and you realize that they have never for once prayed to be like you or anyone else, but to be like themselves by offering value. And it is so sad that we don't know how to even gather material things. If only you know how to gather material things, you will know that spirituality is what leads to materialism or materiality. Because there are difference between becoming materialistic and all. So we now take a little detour back into what is called spirituality. What is spirituality? What is spirituality? See, spirituality is not about lifting a finger up, raising one down, going into the thick jungle and doing some gesticulation, speaking some incantation. See, those ones should be your normal lifestyle, according to as nature has inspired you. Spirituality is way beyond you looking like a wild beast in a zoo, dressing in such a way that now make you become a cave person or somebody, a blast from the past. Spirituality is way beyond that. It's way beyond putting powder on your eyes and looking like whatever I don't have a name for. The absolute spirituality is lying in one question only. How can I be of use to the person beside me? How can I be of use to the person beside me? Spirituality is about service. But how can you pour from an empty cup? How do you share love when you have not experienced it? So Africans, I don't know about other kind of spirituality, but African spirituality now take you back into yourself. Who are you to start with? Answer the question. What are you? What is your essence? What do you weigh? What is your value? Your value void of what you have bought, the car, the house. What exactly is your value? And why are you in this episode of life? Those are questions that really those who have material things, first of all, have to answer. Because the moment you know who you are, to become what you are becomes easy. The answer to who you are determines what you will do with what you are. Unfortunately, a lot of us ask these questions from other people. So it's a case of a certain man who wanted to travel. And he went to the counter at the airport. And because they didn't give him preferential treatment, started shouting, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" So the ticketing officer just called the security and said, "There is another madman here. He's asking me who he is. How am I supposed to know? Come and take him away." Now, this is different from you knowing your element. But who you really are is a question you can only answer yourself. So I woke up in one morning and I said, who am I? And why am I here? What is the value of my life if I don't serve humanity? Because you must know that when a man is dying on its deathbed, which can be any time, and is in tears, crying, you are looking at a man who is regretting this episode of his life. Why? Because he has refused to answer the basic question of who he is, and maybe he answered, but he refused to become what he should be. So when they say he was crying, maybe he's seeing Satan and the demons tormenting him already. Nobody sees hell when they're about to die. The only thing you see when you're about to die is the total summary of your life, what you should have done better, what you refuse to do, and what you have done. The universe and nature is so beautiful that it will keep a record of yourself in a subconscious of you. You might think you have forgotten things. Wait until you're about to die. Your life will flash before your eyes without you thinking about it. I'm talking about the first time you open your eyes to this world and the day you are about to die. Everything will flash before your eyes. And you begin to, even though it is within what we are talking about, maybe within the period of 9 minutes alone. Within the period of 9 minutes alone. And all your life, even if you live for 2,000 years, all your life will be compressed to 9 minutes. And it begins to flash so fast, but you will not be able to miss any episode of it. And when you get to the conclusion and the button press no, the seal get cut off. Now, you are now left to judge yourself in that instance. It is the judgment of self that results to either tears on your deathbed or smile. They say some people were smiling while they are dying. Why? Because they have satisfied their conscience. They knew that having discovered who they are, they have done what they need to do. I have tried my best. I'm leaving the rest for you to handle. There are very few people, 2 out of 1,000 human beings. Not everybody who experienced plane crash are scared while they are dying. Please listen to me. Let's focus. We are getting into the deeper realm of what spirituality entails and the things that happen without you noticing. Not everyone who died through accident are scared and crying or calling the blood of one Jesus while you're dying. Some were seeing the crash. The plane is going down and they are smiling. Their life flashed before them and they realize they have done their best. While some, it is while they are drinking juice, that their life flashed before them and they are in tears. So I'm asking you today, would you be in tears at that time when the silver lining is cut off, or you'll be smiling? Knowing that it is not about heaven, you have lived your heaven. Knowing that it is not hell, you have created hell. The moment you are able to take yourself into the deep, remember our talking about depression, into the deep to answer the very basic question that can make you truly spiritual, which is, who am I? The moment you answer that, you will spend the rest of your life becoming what you are. So maybe one day I woke up and I saw that if I have 20 cars and I have 1,000 buildings, the end of me will still be death. That particular reality hits me so deep. Death. So I needed first to get comfortable with that word, death. The moment, see, for every man on earth, for every woman, if you are listening to me or you listen to me later, see, the moment you get comfortable with the idea of death, I'm not talking about suicidal thought, comfortable with the idea of death, you will not again need a motivator to push you to do a thing, because every day is a motivation for you. What you need to do, you begin to tell yourself, I need to do it quickly. But the very thing that should be your motivator has become the greatest factor of your fear. So you go to church to go and rebuke death. You go to mosque to rebuke death. Some of you only come to Ifa because you think you are going to die. But the moment you get comfortable with the idea of death, life now becomes easy to live. There is no fear. Only that you want to become the best version of yourself. So I was able to answer the question. Now, when I answered the question, I still said to myself, what made Shango spectacular? That decades, centuries, thousands of years after he had come and gone, people refused to let him rest. They still called the name. What is spectacular about Ogun? What is spectacular about Osun Shengeshe Oloyayin? What is spectacular about Eshula Logiyoko? So I began to solve that equation. Now, I began to solve the equation. I began to uncover the truth that a lot of people are so shy to uncover from the mouth of the real people. And I began to ask, was Ogun a celestial being who descended from heaven and who also ascended to heaven? A lot of people were very dodgy. But the true Babalawo, we came to reality that no, they were born by women, just like you and I. say, hey, thank you very much. Thank you for that question. Thank you for the answer. So they were born by a human being. So what's so special about them? Okay. The only thing special about them is that they did all they could. See, it was not easy. Some of them never had a family. Some of them they decided not to have children so that they can pour all their life to other people, raise them up as their children. Some of them live a sojourn life, nomad life, going from one place to another constantly, just because they want to fulfill. And in the process of releasing all without reserving, they gain everything without limitation. And I said, hey, that is how to become a great ancestor. Say no problem, but that is even far-fetched. The that I can see, the Nelson Mandela that I can see, the Martin Luther King Jr. that I can see, the Karl Marx that I can see, the Thomas Sankara that I can see, there should be enough motivation. What was what was the similarity between these people? The first is that they were. The second is that the moment they got rid of the fear of death, they started living. Now, what is the true life? The true life is service to humanity and the universe. Giving back exactly what you have been given. And in that process, they became a memory that can never be extinguished, that cannot be wiped away. So they live constantly becoming a memory. So you see in loving memory, in this memory, in that memory, you will still become a memory. What kind of memory would you become? So I said, okay, wow, thank you. So how did they now become a memory? Now they look at what was missing in their dispensation, and they started first by giving it in their local communities, in their city, in their town, in their countries. Then they became global, intercontinental. Somebody say, I'm jobless. I say, just say you are useless. You are not jobless. You have decided to be useless. There is a service for you in nature. And you see when people say, I just wonder, I keep wondering, you are not even supposed to look for a job because you came into this world work ready. There are lots of work for you. Everyone has their own work to do. It is when you mind your own work and you begin to till your own field that the universe pay you back through others. When you locate what you are meant to do, because you have answered the question of who you are, you realize that paycheck don't determine your mood anymore, because you will never run at loss and you'll never be in lack. Somebody whom you are serving will always be there to cater for your need too. Life is about function of a function of a function of a function. That's a certain topic under calculus. When you finish differentiation, you move into integration. Then you see Laplace theorem. Then you move into function of a function. I want to know mathematics there. I did computer science, and majority of my subject in school was mathematics. So the day I was taught about function of a function, I realized that I'm a function of another person's life, and someone else will be the function of my life. It's like when you light up a candle, it will lit up the whole room, but there's going to be a shadow under it until you lit up another candle. When you put illumination in the life of others, somebody will always be there to illuminate your life back. So your own duty might be in politics. One might could be in spirituality. So today I helped somebody took a life back from Jesus. I was at the airport. I wrote about it. I was dressed the way I was dressed on my own. A lot of people left the queue for me, discrimination, segregation everywhere. I really don't bother. So the woman summoned courage to come there. And then we started talking. I availed her my knowledge and the reason why I do what I do. And I told her something. I said, you don't need salvation. She was amazed. I said, because you have done nothing wrong to be a human being. I said, you have done nothing wrong to be a human being. The concept of salvation is somebody trying to make you hold them what you did not. They are writing a debt check on you that you owe them what you didn't. It's like paying for what you didn't take on credit. I said, there's nothing wrong with you. She said, the first time she will ever hear that there is nothing wrong with her is when I'm talking to her today at the airport. And I said, for instance, just take a look at it this way. The person who said he is wiping off your sin is not even related to you. So the concept of salvation is for you to feel guilty for what you did not do. I said that is the real Stockholm syndrome, when you fall in love with your victimizer. So I said, do you know that the people who spread the gospel of salvation gave a different version of salvation for everybody? So they will creep into your tribe and write a story that will fit in to your ancestors, blackmailing your ancestors to you so that you can embrace them. You know that there is a different Bible they use to convert the Panare Indians. The Panare Indians. Because the Panare Indians do not believe in the concept of sin. They live a communal life. There is no discrimination between male and female. Everybody wake up in the morning, go into the jungle, kill what they need to eat. For the day alone, they don't store up food. In the evening, everybody prepare the food. They serve a buffet. So what I saw in the jungle might not be what I want to eat. It might be you who killed what I want to eat. So you can take what I saw and I take what you cooked. And everybody leave. When they wake up the following morning again, there is no ambition, there is no dream, but to go into the jungle and look for what to eat. Service to one another. They were living a life of total service to one another, and that's what they do from age 0 to when they die. Until the Catholic, the Greek, went into their midst and began to tell them that their ancestors were responsible for killing Jesus. And they began to wonder, who is Jesus? When did we kill? They needed to convince them. The moment they believe that their ancestors are guilty of a certain thing, they become a slave under those whom they owe nothing. So such revelation brought about illumination in that woman's life. As she said, today, I take my life back from Jesus. I will use it as I deem fit. So I stretch my hand and I say, congratulations. We'll keep in touch. That's how I live my life. Daily liberating men from the oppression of the invaders through mental slavery. And this cost a lot. Personally, as a person. And the only other thing I know how to do is to ease suffering and pain from little children. Because I believe they have a better shot at life than I do. Somebody was asking, when you started your foundation, Crystal Love Foundation, why is it only about children? I said, because I believe that as an adult, I have seen the best of my days. And probability of me seeing the better It's not there. But they have not witnessed much. I want them to also have a better shot at life. I never can tell. I might be raising the next president of my nation just by showing love. So when I answered those two questions about myself, life became easy. So now that aspect of my life took care of envy, jealousy, inferiority complex. It does not matter if you know me today, I made the nation for you, and you become better than I am, or you become wiser than I am, or you become wealthier than I am. That's your race. Please run it effectively. I will run my own race. The first time I would ever use an iPhone was February this year, 2021. I was never moved about the craze. When I knew about me that competition is not even a thing that freaks me, was when a movie is in vogue and everybody is watching it, and I get to watch it maybe 5 years after. I said, whatever you watch and saw 5 years before is what I'm seeing today. It does not change value. I will get there when I get there. I will get there when I get there. And when I get there, it will make sense to me because my life is not about you, it's about me. I live my life to satisfy my own conscience. I don't run other people's race. So the moment you settle what you are meant to do, people's race will not give you concern. You won't have the sleeplessness. Not to mention you going from one place to the other, trying to kill each other. See, love becomes something like a second nature of mankind the moment everybody runs their own race. No competition. I've seen people run from pillar to post who are running about car and they went to go and hit bicycle and the bicycle killed them. Sometimes Yorùbá máa pé orí á máa fẹ́ lòmíì pamọ́ káyé má bàa fi pamọ́. You know the meaning of that? Say nature and the universe will keep some people's secrets so that the people of the world don't bury them. But when we make divination and we say this period of time is supposed to be like this, hold on, they will say no, it's not helping. I also need to make it now. Now. No. Is that your race? Well, let's not deviate from the topic. Now, the very first thing that comes to your mind the moment you answer the question is how to be of service. Result of service to mankind. The very material thing that you are running after and looking for, begin to run after it and look for it. Now, your temperament and happiness is now no longer determined by what you have, but by what you have done. Somebody say, I'm poor. My question is, what have you done to be poor? Because certainly poverty is the result of lack of manifestation of spirituality. So when you are poor, it is because you have orchestrated and live your life in such a manner to be poor. And some got the concept of poverty, of tribulation, of constant barricade and blockage just by association. Family association, colleagues, place of work. when you come from a family that poverty from one generation to the other, see, it's so de-associate and detach yourself from that family. That is a coronavirus. Go and quarantine yourself. Isolate yourself. Look for a vaccine, the vaccine of knowledge. Work with those who are not infected with poverty, and your life will change. It's simple. The moment you notice a certain pattern in your family, please run for your life. That we are family or related by blood does not mean we must live together or be in the same space or think the same way. Because you never can tell. It might be a certain slogan or word in that family lineage that is rendering you poor. It might be their disposition towards life. For example, being from a family where your mother is laid back, your father is laid back, probability that you'll be laid back is there until you begin to move with those who are proactive. Run as if they have leprosy in such family. Not because they are suffering from generational cause, but there is a generational pattern that is affecting their mindset. And their mindset is affecting their pocket. Run. Isolate yourself. Don't let them infect you. You find yourself in a place of work, they are always saying, this work is killing me. This work is killing me. Run from them. You came from a family where your parents always say, these children will kill me one day. These children will kill me one day. Run from your father. Run from your mother. Do not go and pick up a slogan that will end up you creating a reality you don't want, because your children will just kill you too. You have not sinned against anyone. If you come to this your own life and decided to leave it alone, far away from people whose mental faculty and disposition is affecting and making you become retrogressed in life. This communal poverty kind of life that Africans have created for themselves, this communal kind of thinking that, okay, because I'm the only one who have money in our family, so I should be the one who take care of every other person. Don't you see that they are endangered? They will turn you to an endangered species. That you poor. This communal poverty of saying, okay, now that I have money, I must be the one who take care of all everybody. How did you make the money? If they are not ready to go by your principle of making the money and create wealth for themselves, they should not run you dry. They should not drain you. Run. Run, no. Run. You never can tell. This conversation may be contagious. The reality of our life comes from what we listen to. If I'm saying what will depress you here and you care to listen, you will be depressed. But if I'm giving freedom from my words and you care to listen, you will be free also. So also the same principle applies in life. Even the person you marry, if they are pessimistic about life, there is possibility that your family will create another generation of poverty. Don't allow your children to inherit such a thing. That's why you must be careful of who you settle with. When you work with people whose first mindset in life is not how to be of service to another, you are amongst people who make you become an endangered species. Because if all you think about is how to take advantage of people, take from them, collect, you will start thinking. You will begin to breed germs, and eventually people will start to avoid you. It will be good first when you start accumulating and collecting, but you get to a point where your greed can mess you up. So the best way to have material things is to become of use to mankind. It provides service. In exchange for the service he provided, you gave him material things. What exactly did Mark Zuckerberg did? He provided service. What did you give him? Then when Facebook started, it looks like another toy. But now, Facebook can control your life. Go down or YouTube go down today. Forget about it. Some people's source of income are gone. Why? Because somebody asked the question first, as early as possible, which must be your responsibility as parent to allow your children to answer that question for themselves as early as possible. Why are you here? What can you give to humanity? What can you repay back the universe with for allowing you to experience this episode of life? What did Warren Buffett did? What did Jack Ma did? What every one of them created wealth for themselves just by offering service. What service are you offering? Yet you are complaining that you are poor. Some people's service is about talking. Some people's service, only when they talk, that is a service to mankind. Some people's service is talking. Their brain is so loaded. They have seen life in such a way, they have understood universe in such a manner that when they open their mouth to talk, it is worth more than $1 million. And in return for that service, you pay them. Please talk to me. The simplicity of the matter is you pay some people to talk to you. Please talk to me. Remember that when somebody talks to you, sometimes you don't want to listen. You call some people talk at you, but you can listen to some people for 2 hours non-stop. You are still interested. When they say goodbye, you still want them to stay. That is to humanity. And they refuse to keep their mouth shut. And in response to their service to humanity and the universe take care of them too. So you realize that in solving the equation of why you are here, you have already started practicing spirituality. Because spirituality is sorry, excuse me. Spirituality is the ability of man to first of all answer the question, who am I? Man, know yourself. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. The moment you know who you are and yourself, you can now begin to pour in others. You can now begin to pour into others. So there is such a peaceful coexistence between materiality and spirituality. Said that if you don't have some basic material things, it is very possible that you might not able to cater for your spirituality. Then I took you back from the unknown to the known, that it is when you understand yourself, which is the greatest form of spirituality, that you are able to offer yourself to others, which is going to bring about material things. But look at it today. Who are the people controlling the world we live in? Is it the materialistic people, your politicians, or the spiritual people? Because why? They understand time, they understand season, they know what will happen next, they know something is coming. So ahead of you, they have in Mars, they have started living in space, they are catching away millions upon millions of sperm cell, ovary, egg, seeds, plants, whatever, into the other planet. They understand. You are there struggling with how much you have in your bank account. While account to establish what they are seeing in their mental space, in their spiritual sense. So you realize that first, they gain material things by being spiritual, service to nature. They now begin to control the material world by the things they got as a proceed of being highly spiritual. So there's actually no way you are going to be hearing me today if there are no material things in place. Number one, I need to have a phone. It's a material thing. Number two, there must be data. material thing. Even though what we are doing here is purely spiritual matter. Number 3, I must be well fed. Because if I'm not well fed, I'll be talking in the nonsense. No matter how much I know, I'd rather go and sleep than talk to you. Number 4, you all must also have what I have in the right space of mind. Have a mobile to receive it, have a data to watch it. So you cannot differentiate, you cannot take away material things from spirituality. That's why even when you do Ifa divination or whatever, and you are told to do a thing or two, you still need material money to get those things. But how you come about the material things, is it solely from the unknown to the known, or you are doing it from the known to the unknown? Because you'll be frustrated if you approach the latter. Do you know that if we have the material ability, we would have a station on every cable service in the world? Maybe we call it Isheshe TV or African Spirituality Hub. Just like the Christians have their station. The Hindus have their station. The Jews, the Judaism people, they have their station. If they don't have material possession, do you think they'll be able to express their spirituality? Now let's now come back to the miseducation given to us in Africa. It is not bad to be wealthy. Wealth give you some certain level of comfort and peace of mind. And it puts the control of this physical world in your. You can control physical things by physical things. It's not bad to be wealthy. It is not bad if Africans are also the richest in the world, so that when decisions want to be taken regarding human life or the planet we live in, Africans, they have a say also. But what are Africans offering the world today? And are they making use of the wisdom of spirituality to monopolize this knowledge such that if they don't come to you or come through you, they can't get the right to it? What are the services that Africans are offering today? Apart from entertainment, tutuba, rap, bora, what else are we offering? In terms of invention, researches, healthcare, medical breakthrough, technology advancement, what else are Africans offering today that can put the control of this material world in their hands? So I said once, in practicing African spirituality, we must quickly and swiftly move from knowing to doing. From knowing to doing. What else are our women known, majority of our women known for, except having big buttocks and breasts, perfect for sex alone? Most of our women. What else are our men known for today? Except from maybe sniffing cocaine, carrying chains. Africans are so used to chain, physical chain, that they will even put a fancy one on themselves. In the diaspora where you live, in Africa where we are, it is black people that love to put chains on their neck. They call it jewelry. They call it a bling bling or drips or whatever they call it. One human being will carry about 5 chains on his neck. Chains that are as big as anchor of a ship. And that's part of fashion. Now, that is a residue of the slavery. It used to be artful to put chain on your neck. Now it was African that now fashionized the whole thing. Chain on the neck, chain on the wrist, chain on the ankle, chain on the waist, chain everywhere. You just want to chain yourself down. One gain low and bolka. We are saying leave chain. You are now putting the chain on. That's on the lighter mode. Or you could see the effect of the colonialism, the ancestral slavery, how we now live fashionably of the version of what our fathers suffered with pain and tears. Oko kukelomi gberi mutaya orun sese, ataya taya sorun. The only thing they can put on their neck is a rim of a car and call it pendant. Chain everywhere. They will even change their own teeth. I don't know the new version in place. I don't know what is wrong with these youngsters. So now okay, it was a trend for the women. They want to snap a picture. And you say, send us a picture, or let's have a picture of it. Let's even go through your maybe Facebook profile. I believe in those days, people will face camera. You will face camera with your face. But now, all women now have to turn their back. I don't know why you sexualize yourself. You have to turn your back to show us that you have some big bum. A cheap deposit of fat that will still affect your knee tomorrow. Some are running on the street like a mad human being, trying to lose the fat. Some are going under the knife, trying to accumulate the fat. So over so many. So the young men now, when they don't want to take picture, they put one of their in their mouth to spread their teeth, to spread their mouth so that we can see their teeth, because everything is chained down. Chain in the edge, chain in the mindset, chain now manifests in the body. So sometimes I begin to wonder, what am I doing in this dispensation? But then, what can we do? Materialism. Because people who do things that count, don't wait to count them. That's where you realize that these people have no spiritual value. When what gives you joy is totally derived from the physical things or the trend. And that's why they call it trend. People wake up. Trend don't last long. If anything, it takes from you, because you have to struggle to keep up, to maintain. You want to get 1,000 likes in 1 hour. 1,000 likes in 1 hour. 1,000 likes in 1 hour. As a man, go and put your wife's picture, especially the one that she's standing, like all these people that have epilepsy, with her leg twisted so that her bum can show. Put your wife picture on your social media. Use it as your DP. You will see like. People will like it. Because it's a generation of sexualization. Dispensation of sex, money, champagne, sex, money, alcohol, sex, money, sex again, sex, money. To the point of urging people, young ladies, do not see anything wrong in having sex with 5 men at a single time. Just give them Colorado, give them marijuana, make them senseless. And at the end of the day, you give them some thousands of cash. That's all. To them, that is the worth of their life. These are people in their billions, not answer the question of who am I? What is my value? What can I offer aside from sex? I was talking to someone, I said, if all women think that sex is what makes men stay, and all men think like me, most women will be very, very lonely in their life. Because if what you are bringing to the table is only sex and not smartness, and not your brain, and not something enterprising, I'm telling you the truth, I have any problem. So I walk daily on the street of this world and I see vanity. I see vanity. I see ladies who drive big cars, have big houses, without spirituality, without any iota of one single self-dignity. Nothing. I see men also who scheme, who plot, who betray their friends, who dupe their parents, who even go to the point of asking for African spirituality to support just to drive machine. Ogun, you want to drive Ogun machine, iron, and so you mess up other people's life. That is materialism. For the man who asked this question, that is material. Materialism will take you to the extreme end of your life quicker and faster because you'll be blinded by greed. Materialism. Materialism have turned a lot of good people who have a spectacular future ahead of them into a non-entity, a complete non-entity. So when I hear if you can't beat them, you should join them, I say if you join them, they will beat you. It is you against them. The power of multiplication and crowd, they will beat you. The best way not to beat them, to not join them, is not to try to beat them. Take away competition. Run your race. They will catch up with you. They will catch up with you. So this materialism has crept into our spirituality that even if you go to places like churches and mosques, the numbers of people that listen to them or come to their church is the approval of the anointing. Brag endlessly. Why? Because to them, you are translated to money. It's a matter of the offering and tithe or whatever you are going to be sowing. The more, the merrier. Same goes to the lower echelon of our society. Those who offer the potter to their spirituality in exchange for money. Do you even know how precious your manhood is, your womanhood is? Do you even know the easiest way to poison you is through sexual intercourse? Something that should be the potter of your spirituality has now become the outfit of immorality, where you use it to make money. Just to beg, just because you want to meet up. And you see the way they end up most times. Miserable set of people. Needing cocaine, needing marijuana, needing Colorado, needing tramadol, needing all forms of strange substances just to fill up the vacuum, because materialism will never bring happiness to you. When you become materialistic centered, you irrevocably launch or plunge yourself of regret. That is what does not work with your spirituality. See, spirituality teaches you to be minimal, to be moderate. Even if you have more than enough, you are quick to remind yourself that you are not the only human being on this planet. What are you doing with the wealth of over 1 billion human beings? What are you doing with it? Now, this is a place you now put yourself in a place of a custodian. The job of a custodian is just to help keep and administer accurately. The fact that you have answered the question of who you are, and the universe is now paying you every day for answering the question and doing what it takes, does not mean that all the money and wealth that the universe is transferring to your account belongs to you. You are making some people else's money. Share with them. Share with them. Share with them. A world where people get married because of material things. Let's just go to the registry. Let's sign that paper, because in the next 1 year, I'm going to tolerate your nonsense. Then I'll divorce and we'll go a separate way. I've accumulated this. I'll go to marry another person. Let's give and take. I'll marry 5 men. Then I'll become a millionaire. There are people who think like that. There are men who think like that too. We must come to the depravity of our mind so that we can redeem ourselves by ourselves, not by the blood of Jesus, but by talking sense into each other. Do not forget that if you are poor, you will be hated by all. And if you become materialistic, you will be the one to hate yourself. You can see the extreme of both becomes the beginning of sadness. If you are poor, you will be hated by many. Answer the question now while you still can, and create wealth for yourself. If you now become realistic, materialistic, you will hate your own self. Those are the set of people with tears because they live a very useless life. Even though they think they have it all, but there's this huge monster called sadness and vacuum within them. They know they messed this up. Maybe it's time for deep to call into the deep, for us to talk sense into ourselves. Every mankind deserves 3 square meal or 3 course meal if you are able form. But if you are a very not a foodie person like myself, 1 or 2 is okay, and a lot of water. I don't see the reason why a human being will have more than 20 clothes. 10 is okay. I don't see a reason why human being will have more than 10 clothes in their wardrobe per time. I don't see the reason. I've tried to think about it. I can't just see the reason why a human being will have more than 10 clothes in their wardrobe per time and more than 3 shoes. Kilo what? Even eagles only change their feather once in a year. Snakes change their skin once in a year. Scorpions change their skin once in a year. Goats don't even change their skin at all. I don't know what you will now have a whole 3-bedroom flat. Everywhere is full. And do you know that those who have more than who have plenty of clothes never know what to wear? They don't always have what to wear. Those people who have so much but don't have anything. See, the more you have, the more anything. So they will now enter their clothes house. They created a house for clothes alone, separate house for shoes, separate one for sneakers, separate one for this, separate. They will now enter there, and confusion will now break the bone. They will now say, I don't know what to wear. I don't have what to wear. They will never have what to wear because they have more than they should. It is someone like me that is always wearing this black, except if I want to change into my sleeping clothes or rooming clothes. I have what to wear. I know what to wear. As a matter of fact, in the next 2 weeks, I know what to wear. And it is my black abada and night shirt. I already know what to wear. Relieve yourself of confusion. All these things you are gathering together. All these things will still lead them blind. The painful thing is that some people don't like. See, you will go out, you will become outdated. This thing will become outdated. The only you are building a mighty palatial home. Have you gone to your village to look at those who built a palatial home for themselves before? Can you see what their palatial home turned into? What if they have used the money to build a small home for themselves, at least to accommodate their family and maybe two other strangers that they are trying to adopt, and spread the rest to build a real estate, even if it's going to be a shelter for people to run into? Do you think when you die, their story will be forgotten? So you can have more than enough. It does not mean all the money belongs to you. Belong to you. Is it still bad, the audio? Is it okay now? So every single day we need to take into that account. There's a difference between materialism and spirituality. They don't work well together. But then materiality and spirituality are two sides of the coin. It is now left to you as a person to manage it well. Any update about the audio? Do we have a better audio now? Or is it still bad? So we as people, must come to the reality that it is solely our responsibility to manage these things and gauge them well. I think I have said enough for today. It's like the case of a mother whose child wanted to go to school the second day, and the mother said, "My child, sit down. Let me speak to you." And the woman spoke for 7 hours. Having talked to the child for 7 hours, now said, "A word is enough for the wise." And the child was wondering, A word is not for the wise, and you have to speak to me for 7 hours, and they ended it in a lighter mode. What I have given to you today. It is now left to you to now go to do your own homework and begin to reconcile within yourself. Would I do better? Am I going to raise my children that way too? Would they know when it is enough? Would they know when to give away? Teach them to empty their wardrobe once in a while. Don't help them to give to the poor. Take them to where pure people are and tell them to give to them by themselves, so they can learn. Don't do it behind their back. There's no need to do it behind their back. My child, we are giving to the poor today. Gather the clothing that you are not using. We are going to also place to give. Let us see that some people are poor in this world. Take them on a road trip. Let them see children who are happy. Let them tell them the reason why they must be of service to others. So when they grow up, they will not depart from it. And you yourself must lead by example. Constantly leading by example. Knowing that the fact that you are so richly blessed today because you have answered the major question of life does not mean all the wealth that is in your name belongs to you. Administer it to other people too. Thank you very much for listening today. I don't know if the audio is better now. If we can take 1 or 2 questions. If the audio is not good, we can just round up. Is it better? Can we take questions? Should we round up? If it's not better, I need a feedback, please. Somebody is saying, Baba, especially within our community, how do we find the right balance between giving service to others and not being taken advantage of? Well, that is something. Still bad, right? I guess we can take the question some other time. I'll just take one and then we round up. Apologies for the audio. I practically live on the road. I'm currently not in my country home. I sojourn to another region of Nigeria, and there seems to have a bad network here. So the question asks, say, there is nothing telling you that it must be within your community. Go to where your services are needed. If you offer service in Europe or you offer service in Africa, the service you offer is to mankind. And for mankind, the universe will come with it. If your service will not be appreciated where you currently are, take your service to somewhere else. For instance, I knew, part of the question I answered, I knew that my service is not needed in Europe or in America or in Canada. They have a system that works. They have a system that works. I choose to stay in the continent where system don't work so that I can become the system that works. Take your service to where you are needed. Now, this is different from doing good for the sake of doing it. We are talking about being taken advantage of. If your service should be taken advantage of or it will be highly irrelevant, take it to the continent, the country, the community, the locality where it will be appreciated. As for me, I know onset that my service are not needed in Europe, either my spiritual service or my charity organization service. It is only needed here. How do I even begin to look for leaves for abaremeji or have enough, concentration when I'm struggling with cold and all? So I know Africa is where I should be. So I'm not one of those who are going to the embassy, queuing endlessly and thinking that it is because of family or generation across that they are not giving me document to go to do. To hell with European, America, Canada document. I can create my Europe here. Those who think they don't get to Europe, they cannot make it, are the same as those who think they are going to heaven. Create your heaven where you are. Let it meet you wherever you are. I'm serious. People who think that they don't leave Africa, they cannot make it in life. And those who think they are going to heaven are the same people. And if you know what people in Europe are struggling, that they are not telling you, you will not like to go there. If you know what they are seeing, the racism, the segregation, the systematic engineering, the bullying, the unemployment, the cold and the health issue that they are struggling there, and they are not telling you, you will stay put in your Africa. The highest is that you go and live in your family house. We don't pursue people from family house here. And somebody will still, at all, somebody will give you Gary and granite to drink first. That one is true, is certain. But if your mission in life requires that you travel abroad, I'm not saying stay here. I just know that my mission does not require me to go. If I go, maybe I go to visit. You guys are my people, not because I want to live or stay. So I offer my service in a place where it is appreciated. And service offering, service rendering also has a lot to do with offering service to those who really need it. Do they need your service when you are rendering? Because we have two types of soil, the fertile one, the infertile one. Don't, because you need to render service and begin to sow your seed in an infertile ground. You will still have yourself to be blamed because you are not spiritually smart enough to know that the universe don't reckon with that service of yours. Put your service where it is needed. There are people in Gabon, there are children who are suffering in Sudan, Darfur region. There are children who are dying of hunger in Yemen. There are people in the northeastern part of Nigeria. There are those on the streets of Lagos. There are people in Accra, Ghana. There are people all over Africa who are in need of money. But you folks will give money to charity in abroad where their system works already. You are wasting your time. A lot of you, your elderly ones, your village back in Africa, they are practically malnutrition. But you still give your money to an Igbo man who became homeless because he became a drug addict. You need to think twice. They are not homeless because of unfortunities. They are homeless because of drug addiction. But your elderly ones, your local community need aged people service home here in Africa. And you will not deem it fit or count it worthy that you should be the one who starts one for them. Some of these aged people in Africa are living their life lonely. They are ending the rest of their life in loneliness. You are not deeming it fit to be the one who even kick off that particular scheme, but you'll be willing to go and render that service in the aged people's home in abroad where they already have their life settled and things are working for them. You are a waster. Let everyone take that for themselves. I'm sure if you are the African people who gathered together and decided to send medication home, you'll be sending medication that will not render the young man infertile home. You'll be sending medication that will not increase the deterioration of people's health home. But you leave all of this in the hand of the white people, the same people who came to catch you away are saying they are sending first aid to your people in Africa, and you are happy. You are not thinking well that something is wrong somewhere. A thief came into your house and told you that we are here to help you. Already the patient. So you have raised a very good question. Is the audio okay now? Please, is the audio okay? Okay, the audio is still bad. So we are going to wrap it up like that. Is the audio better or is it still bad? If the audio is better or bad, let's see how we can handle. So if your service is not needed in a place, take your service to someone else. We give our gratitude to the universe, to the water that did not allow us to die of thirst, to the earth that will not greatly firm, to the air that we breathe in and out, to the sun and fire that keep us warm. We ask that the ancestors and their energy and the universe rest with us with their wisdom and expand us often and often more. This is my decree in your life today, that you will not get lost in the turbulence of life. Ashe. Thank you for joining today's broadcast. And don't forget to subscribe and also join our Telegram channel. You can see the instructions scrolling below. You'll be able to join us there. Till the next time we meet again. Please, it is always very good to go back to every of our teaching aside joining it live to listen, because that's when we really get most of the knowledge and the wisdom that we are sharing with one another.